Welcome to the RunningBack Training Camp Podcast. I'm your host, Cooper REGO. And today, via Zoom, I got the homie from WVU, Quincy Wilson's in the house.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I think I got you. All right. Quincy Wilson's in the house. Quincy is my homie from back in the day.
Cool.
Way back in the day.
Boy.
Way back in the West Virginia days.
Right?
Now your phone.
We could talk about that.
Now your phone's breaking up. I can't even hear you.
You got me?
Quincy.
You got me?
Yeah, I can hear you. So you played, first of all, you graduated high school 1998. Right?
99.
So your last season was 98.
98, yes.
Last season was 98. You went to Weir High in Weirton, West Virginia.
Weirton Senior High School.
Let's back up. Let's go back in time. First of all, let's go back before you were born. Okay? Let's go back to your dad, Otis, my man Wilson.
That's Big O.
Big O. Let's go back to your dad played for Louisville.
Played for the Chicago Bears, man. 80 to 88.
80 to 88.
Super Bowl champs, and of course 85 Super Bowl shuffle, world renowned Super Bowl shuffle. Went platinum.
Went platinum? That went platinum?
Went platinum.
Oh my God!
They gave all the proceeds to one of Walter's charities he had.
Wow.
So yeah, it's in the bloodline, brother.
That's hilarious. So 80 to 88. So you grew up with the Chicago Bears.
Right. Locker rooms, training camps, being thrown in towel bins.
Being thrown in towel bins.
Yes.
Who threw you in towel bin?
The fridge. Yeah, they didn't care if you were a little kid. If you were in that locker room, you was getting treated like anybody else.
Thrown in towel bins. Wow, training camp. So what do you remember about Walter, the GOAT?
You know what? The thing I remember, of course you're around it, and I just remember just being a part of the team. Hey, that's Walter. That's Willie Galt. That's you don't think about that's fucking Richard Dent. You don't think about that shit. So even now when I see him now, it's just like that's Unc. That's Big Unc. That's this. That's that. So. I just, like I said, just being a part of the family, that's the biggest thing I remember about that, man.
So do you remember watching Walter? Who was your favorite player on the team?
Of course, Pops was good, but, sweetness. I had the headband, had the kangaroo headband, had the 34 every year for Halloween, this was post-social media, man. So anybody that was on TV, that was your favorite player, and Walter was always on TV, so.
Pre-social media.
Pre-social media, yes.
So, do you remember anything about watching Walter Payton, practice?
I remember his voice. Like his voice was so soft and almost like a little guy almost. Like hey, this Walter Payton. So, and then but he was. By far the most down to earth, greatest. I remember when me and Jared were getting recruited. We actually went on a recruiting visit to Illinois together. And I just remember him just picking with us, oh, you guys can't play here. You guys are not good enough to play here. So that was just the kind of guy he was.
Wait, when was that? Was that 90, 97? You being recruited?
No, it was 98. 98 going into 99 January.
So that was your junior year.
Senior.
Wait, 98 was your last season.
Yeah.
So 99 spring, you graduated.
99 graduate, yeah. Class of 99, yeah.
Right. So 98, that was
we went there in January, though.
Okay.
Because we went to a basketball game, and it was all.
So, cool. Obviously, you grew up with Jared Payton, Walter's son.
Yeah.
And you guys were same class?
Same class, yeah.
And did you Did you guys plan on going to college together? Was that ever?
You know what? Jared played soccer all the way up to his sophomore year. So I was kind of the, football. Football was me, and everyone thought Jared was gonna play soccer. And then his junior year he played, and his senior year, he had a good season. So it was never really planned until, like you said, until we started going on these recruiting trips. We went 2 trips, went there and went to Indiana, and they kind of started developing. Like, man, it'd be cool to kind of play in the same backfield together, man. All that. But he ended up going to Miami and ended up staying in West Virginia. It just didn't work out. But really not till we started getting recruited.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So man, being that close to like one of the greatest running backs to ever play, when you would play football, how would you play? Like I've seen your high school tape. I wish I had access to your high school tape. I wish you would put your high school tape on YouTube so I can show these fools what the hell you look like in high school.
Right.
But like, how did you prepare? How did you train at a young age?
You know what? Again, I was exposed to camps and all that stuff at an early age. I remember my first camp, like 7th grade. I went to like Notre Dame camp, and they put me in with the high school group because I was like, I was a bigger. I've been big since.
Wait a second. What year were you at the Notre Dame camp?
Notre Dame camp, that would have been 95.
You sure?
95, even 94, 95, somewhere around there.
Okay, Lou Holtz was still the coach.
Yes, Coach Holtz was still there.
Okay, 94, 95. Because I went to the Notre Dame camp in 96.
Okay.
And I don't remember seeing you.
No, I was in middle school still.
No, you weren't. You're only 2 years behind me.
Yeah, 95 was my first year in high school.
So that was the year you went to Notre Dame camp?
It was 94. It was 94.
So, okay, so you were in middle school. Okay.
Summer going into my 8th grade year. But just training-wise, man, as you know, you've been to West Virginia. There's a lot of hills. There's a lot of I did a lot of resistant training. Legs and strength shoes were big back then.
Let's talk about that for a minute, the strength shoes. Because I remember seeing you. I remember the first time I saw you. And I saw you walking on the sideline. And back then, we had the AstroTurf. We had the real AstroTurf. And I remember your Jordans, the tip of your Jordans were sticking up. The tip of your shoes were going upward like genies.
Yeah, it was because I could tie my shoes too tight. No sense of style yet, brother.
And there's a lot of force going into those shoes.
Yeah, like a genie.
So how often would you wear the strength shoes?
Excuse me?
How often would you how often would you work out with the strength shoes?
Yeah, I jump. I think every time I try to do something every 3 or 4 times a week, maybe.
So, like, what was your thinking behind that? Like, how would you go? What was your process?
I started seeing results. I could grab the rim. I could, when you first time you do something, you see it works for you. You kind of go there. So, I was always jump roping. A buddy of mine gave me a heavy rope. I used to heavy rope jump with it. I had like a little wall in front of my house. I used to do like just vertical jump. I had seen some results, and just I was always one of my things, man. Just strength shoes was my shit.
So, would you set aside time to train every day?
Oh yeah. I've seen a video. Back in the day, ESPN. They show like the old like NFL films stuff like late at night and shit. And I was watching, and it was Herschel Walker, and he was like, hey, "Man, I do all these push-ups, I do all these sit-ups. I don't need food. All I eat is." I was like, wow. When you're a little kid, like, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do 1,000 push-ups, and then, you start trying to do that, and you realize that's not realistic. So, but I developed my own kind of program, if that makes sense. I had my Quincy Wilson D1 football program. And it was
that's what I'm talking about. That's what I want to. That's what I want to know. Tell me what that was.
Like I said, I was trained with heels. I read like somewhere about people got faster running downhill, so I do hill training. I do footwork, conditioning. Really wasn't a weight guy. I wasn't like going in there repping like 225. I didn't really start lifting weights until I got to WVU, But I was more plyometrics before I knew what the fuck plyometrics meant.
So what kind of hill work would you do? Specifically.
You know what? There's a couple of them right down the road there may be 100 yards, kind of just your normal hill. And
100 yards.
Yeah, I just hit it, man. And then like I say, sometimes if we had 10 games, I'd be like, all right, this is Oak Glen, so I run up Oak Glen, next one, Wheeling Park. Just simulating, just running up the hill with that. And like I said, wasn't a distance guy, but I go light pole, do some sprints like that sometimes. I train at night because I thought that'd be cool. Someone ever saw me like working out at night, but damn, that's Quincy Wilson working out. So in my own head, I thought, hey. So I go outside at night and just, do sprints in my parking. I got a parking lot right across the street. So I go across the street and just do, like 5, 10 fives in the parking lot, shit, out there slipping, But in my mind, I was training, for that next level, that this is Mountaineer Field. This is what's going to be like, let's do this.
Wait a second. Did you always want to go to West Virginia?
You know what? No, I wanted to go to Florida State. I was a Florida State fan, man. Big, Bobby Bowden and, Peter Warwick, Charlie Ward, Pooh Bear Williams, Brock Preston, so I was a Florida State fan. Stupid. But then, like I said, once I started, I think I went to my first spring game, like my junior year.
At Florida State?
Okay. So I was like, oh, okay, this is what it's like. I like it down here,
Oh, you went to Florida State spring game?
No, I went to WVU spring game.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I never got to visit down there.
Wow. So hold on a second. Would you watch NFL films, like the NFL tapes, and then go work out?
Yeah, videotapes on videotapes on videotapes. Yeah.
And then go work out?
No, I was study. I watch. I see a spin move, I watch again. Like I watch Thurman Thomas, or I watch because not everyone of course was a Barry Sanders fan, but not everybody could do that.
Nobody can do that.
Thurman Thomas. I was of course the Steelers were here, so like Barry Foster and those guys. I watch. And I just like to watch guys, man. That was my thing. What really wasn't a big Emmitt Smith fan, but
why not?
I don't know. I don't think I just never liked the Cowboys, man. This was a fan, man. But I take those more to watch, more than going out there and training and stuff.
You taped the Cowboy games, or what would you tape?
Would you say it again?
What would you tape?
Just the whole thing. The whole thing. I listen to how they talk. I listen to how they do interviews. I watched their highlights. It was just, I was a football. You ask anybody that knows me, man, I was a football junkie since I can walk.
So the hill training, I remember when you got to West Virginia, you told me that you were in a lot of hills, and I was like, that's it? I remember like it was just a short answer, and I was like, wait a minute, that's all you done?
Yeah.
Hills?
Yeah.
And I remember you not being so big up top.
Right.
But you had thick legs.
Oh yeah.
And your legs, like, we're the same height. We're actually the same exact height. But
that was the thing. That was the thing. I never lifted,
but your legs are on a complete. Yeah. Like, your legs are like freak legs.
Yeah.
Like, they're so big, you look short.
I am short.
No, you're not short, because I'm not short, and I don't think that we're short. But you look shorter than me. But when I stand next to you, we're the same height. But your legs are just way bigger, and that's from all the running and all the strength shoes.
Extra training in essence.
So why'd you stay away from the weights?
Like I said, I think I had that basketball mentality, man. I don't need to lift, and I was already big. I was kind of already naturally strong, and so I kind of thought, whatever, you get to high school, middle school, Pop Warner, you dominate. You get to high school, I had some success as a freshman and so so I never felt like I need to lift weight. Unlike a guy that comes in like 160, like, man, I think I listened to Saquon. He was like, man, I was so little, so I wanted to lift. So we got into that routine of just being. Now he's, as you see, he's freaking animal, but he came in skinny. He's skinny dude. So I think if I was a high school coach, I would tell them, man, like, hey, start developing those habits at freshman year, sophomore year, your eighth, because now then it becomes second hat to you. By the older you get, you're just into a routine. You're just doing what you
do. So when you got to high school, were you the starting running back your freshman year on varsity?
You know what? I actually started on defense. First 3 games, kind of play, special teams, and got in. It was our third game of the season. It put me. I was kind of rotating with a senior, and we were playing a run and shoot team. So back, people probably don't know what the hell run and shoot is, but back then it was 4 wide, and they just threw it all over which was foreign. Back in the 90s, everybody's kind of the eye or the wishbone or option. So they're like, Q, you're going to be playing this week. So I'm just like, oh, it's a whole different mindset. I'm like, I'm going to be playing out there, and a little bit known second quarter, I pick up a fumble, go to the house with it, and this, as they say, it was on after that. So got to run the ball a little bit, a couple games, a couple some mop up duty, but started my whole freshman year at linebacker.
Really?
Yeah.
How many tackles did you have?
Yeah, so linebacker. Because like I said, I went in, I was 175 as a freshman, so I weighed more than most of the juniors and seniors. Outside of a couple guys, but.
How many tackles did you finish with freshman year?
75 tackles, man. 75 tackles. I think I had like 8 TFLs, five picks. I was honorable mention. I thought it should have been second team all state, but they wasn't giving that to no freshman.
So after your freshman year, were you still a Florida State fan? Did you still want to go to Florida State? Did you still think that was a reality?
Yeah, now I was like Florida State, Michigan, and pretty much like anybody was on TV, I was a fan of. I was one of them fair weather fans. I'd be come in one day with a Notre Dame T-shirt, and next week I'm a Georgia Bulldog fan. I saw freaking somebody on Georgia do something. You know what I mean? I was fair weather, but I was a fan though. I was a football fan.
So what was your goals going into your sophomore year?
You know what? My sophomore year, of course, I wanted to play tailback. I felt the guys that were in front of me weren't as good. I think they just played because they were older. And in essence, they did me a favor because I wasn't ready to play varsity football. I get out there, I'm reversing field, I'm fucking throwing out, I'm just out there just doing, winging it. So I remember we had this guy in front of us, Curtis Jeter, and he was good. He was a good player, but I remember him just saying, man, you be tripping out there, man. You be tripping. And it dawned on me, like, yeah, you're right. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I need to freaking learn, these plays and learn the holes. Don't just run the day. Like, so I had a total different mindset going into camp. And, balled out. We had 2 preseason scrimmages, balled out. And then the week before our game, I turned my ankle. So my whole sophomore year,
How'd you do that? How'd you turn your ankle?
Just practice. It was running and, just high ankle sprain.
Did someone fall on you? Were you making a cut?
Yeah, I fell. Somebody fell on my leg.
Looking back on that now, do you think there was any way you could have prevented that?
You know what? I think it was another blessing. I don't think I was ready. Like, in my mind, I wasn't ready for it yet. And I missed that first game. Came back. Actually, again, I came back again on defense. And then the third or fourth game of the season, I was like comfortable with the plays and ran for 100 yards and had so I think it kind of helped me in a way because again I don't think I was ready to carry the load. I wasn't ready to be a 20 carry guy. It's still been mop up. Who knows? I'm not probably put the ball on the ground first 3 times I touched it, but they eased me back. They eased me into it again, which helped, and I ended up, like I said, dealing with the ankle all my sophomore year, and just really didn't have a good season. But it really prepared me for that next season because then I was like, hey, kind of what you were saying, like there ain't gonna be no ankles, there ain't gonna be no shoulders. It's on and popping now. It's time to roll.
So now you're ready to be the feature guy your junior year.
Yes. And I've tasted it 2 years. I know what varsity football is about. I know, and I've seen the competition. We had a pretty good team coming back. People were saying, you guys had a chance to make the playoffs. And, the first game of the season, man, you go for 350 on 15 carries, man.
What? What?
I told you it wasn't a game, baby. It wasn't a game no more.
What? See, this is what I'm talking about. This is what people need to see. They need to see your high school film. They need to see.
I got to get them up, man.
That's crazy. 15 carries, 350. First game of the year.
First game of the season. First carry of the season, 85-yard touchdown.
That's ridiculous. I'm telling you, his high school tape is ridiculous. Damn, what'd you feel like after that first game? Did you get recruited after the first game?
Oh, it was on. By that fourth game of the season, WVU was coming. Pitt was coming, Marshall, like all the local. It was. The secret was out. The secret was out.
Damn. So, how many yards did you finish with that year?
We ended up going to playoffs. Finished with 2,300 and 39 touchdowns.
Those are my senior year numbers right there. That's your junior year. So now you're being recruited, right?
Yes.
And now you still thinking Florida State.
You know what? I kind of felt, like I said, I was hot and cold with school. So by that time, you're getting your letters, you're getting your questionnaires, you're hey, it's freaking Oklahoma, So now, like, Florida State that was like a childhood team. Now I'm like, hey, I got a chance to go to Nebraska. I got a chance to go here. Now not knowing that, questionnaire doesn't mean you're getting recruited. But, back then, you got a letter from anybody, and that school wanted you.
So what's your top five looking like going into your senior year?
Oh, my God. Going into my senior year, I had Washington. I had Georgia, Purdue, every school but the schools I ended up visiting.
Really? So where did you visit?
My actual first visit, like I said, after my junior year, came down to the spring game, and got to meet Amos, got to meet Aaron Beasley, got to meet Damon, got to meet all the guys and Monk, Bulger, and I was just like, man, this was because like I said, up to then, I'd only been in like NFL locker rooms or NFL games and this and that. Now you go to a college game, it's just like, oh shit, this is what's that? This is cool. So, and then when you're a recruit, you want to act kind of macho. You're like, yeah, I'm from where, and you're not. You got your persona that you're trying to see, and then people are talking about you. Oh yeah, that's the kid that rushed for such and such against this that. You kind of got the pub. West Virginia. There's no pro teams here, so your high school kids are local celebrities, and your college stars are even bigger stars as pros. So I had a little buzz, and I had that stuff. So I admit I was a little cocky, a little arrogant, a little naive, definitely naive. But like I said, going into my senior year, if you would ask me if I was going to WVU, I'd be like, there may be 10th on your list, maybe.
So you have a tattoo of a Q inside the Superman, whatever. Which shape is that thing? Is that a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pentagon?
Oh, the tattoo?
Right. Yeah.
I got that my senior year.
But that was before your senior year?
Senior year.
Was that before the season?
Right on my arm. I skipped first period class to go get it. I was pretty fired up about that.
But I remember you telling me that you got that Q because you had to be super.
Right.
So.
Right.
Was that before?
Just something different. I seen the design.
Was that before the season?
Huh?
Was that before the season?
Yeah, before the season.
Okay, so you got the Super Q tattoo. And now, what was your goal going into your senior year?
Well, first I went to win state championship because we lost in the state semifinals. So I was like, man, state championship. I ran for 2,300. So people think I was crazy, but I was like, man, I thought I was going to run for 3,000, which would never, stop it. But I was like, hell, there's a couple games where I just in my head I thought I could run. So I actually set a goal for 3,000 yards. I wanted to break. I knew I needed like another 2,000 to hit like the career record and all those other things. I knew if I had the same season I had a chance for. So all those state records and valley records and all that stuff, and it was right there on the table, man. But again, it was crazy because it was always talked about. Like, hey, man, the first thing the question is like, yeah, you think you can break that record? You think you can break that record? You think you can break that? So you set your goals, but it's not really, hell, I tell my guys to shoot for the sky, but is that your reality? And, the more people talked about it, the more I thought about it, like, shit, this is real. This don't really have to average 230 a game and 4 touchdowns. Now you kind of think of what it's going to really take to do it. And, but it was great. But I was ready. I trained. I was ready, though.
That's what I wanted. So get into that. So how did you train hold on. How did you train to run for 3,000 yards?
Well, first it started in the summertime. I went out to Chicago with my dad and actually worked out with the Bears. Like they had like I don't know, they didn't really call it OTAs then, but it was more just summer workouts. So I was there working out with the trainer, and I would go there and I lift and run. But again, I wasn't to what they were doing, but I was in their program. So more to stretching, more to their lifting. I do more when they would do the benching. I would do like dumbbells. But I was training with NFL guys. So when I came back, they gave me the workout program. I had the workout program. I did a little stuff in the school. I did camps. I did a contact camp, which is foreign now. I went to a full contact camp and it was out there, balling. So in my mind, I was just getting ready. But I knew I had to physically be, that's train. That's where the hills and the extra running. We do gassers. That was real big back then. And I would set one of my linemen kind of like at the 200 mark, and I try to catch his ass. Like, that's my thing. I'm going to try to run him down. And if I didn't, I'd have to go again. So just stuff like that. But I also did a lot of stuff on my team, because I felt like we weren't a team like my junior year. So we hung out. We really got ready. Like I said, I don't think you can train for 3,000 yards or this and that, but my mental game was going to be strong, and I had it in my head that I was not going to be stopped. I said, Coach, give me the ball, because we're going to win the state championship.
So how many yards did you finish with?
We finished with 3260.
3260.
So, and got every record. So I got the state record.
How many touchdowns?
I got that year 47, 49 right now. So finished the career rushing with 6,000, like 94 touchdowns. Records, state championship record, most yards, most touchdowns.
How many? What was that?
I think 260, but I ran for like 280 the state championship game.
How many touchdowns?
3.
Has anyone come close to breaking your record?
You know what? Yes, it's been well, my career rushing is broken.
What?
My touchdowns is broken. Yeah. Yeah, so I've been erased from the history books, but I was the first.
Who broke that?
Yeah, there was a kid from down there in Charleston Nitro, Culberson, and then there was a kid that broke my state title record, kid from Grafton.
What were their numbers?
I think he ran for 300 in the state championship game, and I think Culberson ran for about 200. He broke it by like 100 yards, something like that.
Wow. Oh, those are state records that were broken.
State records, yeah.
What about Weir High? Anyone break?
Oh no, they still. Thank God for the spread option now. That record that at least can live for forever.
Holy moly! Wow. I had going into my senior year. I wanted to run for 3,000 yards only because I saw that James Mungro down in Pennsylvania was running for 3,000 yards. And I was like, all right.
Yeah, with the Syracuse.
Yeah. So I was like, this guy, all right, I got to run for 3,000 yards too. So that was my goal. And I finished my senior year at about 2,400. You around your junior year numbers. But I remember watching you remember we used to watch your highlight film, and everyone would be like, God damn. Like, you know what? Now that you say it, because I didn't know this at the time. I didn't know you went to training camp with the Bears. No, and then come back to Wheaton, West Virginia, run the football at your size, and like, no wonder you ran for this amount of yards. And it was,
I was 205, 208.
Yeah, and your average defensive back was how big?
147 to one kid.
147, trying to tackle this beast.
147.
Now, just real quick, I'm just going to fast forward just real quick, just for this one point. I'm going to talk about the run.
Oh, Jesus.
I'm gonna turn the camera over to my screen here, so we can take a look at the run. And I want everyone that's listening to this to just understand something, that this one run, which was incredibly amazing. First of all, let me just tell you my side of the story. This was my birthday, right? So it's October 2nd, 2003. So and I just graduated from West Virginia. So I'm watching my homies play. These are all my guys. So now we're about to beat Miami. We're on the verge of beating Miami. And then this
don't see, you're not setting it up. See, right now it's third and 13.
Third and 13.
We're down.
And they throw a screen pass to Quincy. And hold on. Before I play this, I just want to say that this run was exactly how you ran in high school.
Right.
Running over, like, now this is like national champion University of Miami that you're running.
This is Jonathan Bill. This is Jonathan Bill.
These are first round draft picks that you're running through. Like when you run through the Merriweather, he looked like one of those defensive backs from Wheaton, from West Virginia that you used to run over.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, people that don't know you don't understand this, but I know you, so I've seen him do this before in high school. So here we go. 3rd and 13.
Right. This is a zone. There you go. So, as you see, guy right there already.
Vince Wilfork, you make a miss. Got the ball in the wrong hand. Bam! Hold on a second. First of all, you got the ball in the wrong hand, right?
Right.
So now you're a coach. What do you tell you guys about where to carry the ball?
You know what? Catching the ball, I see Big Vince. You know, so my first initial thought was stop his feet, because he was coming. You know, he's coming. I mean, I don't even think they blocked his ass. So my initial thing was stop his feet. So, but he was on the other side, so that's why kind of the ball's on that that's on that angle, because
it's
I was
away
like,
from him.
I'm a juke him going back, because I know he can't cut back. And that's 330 running back. And then Coop, honestly, after that, I'm just running, man. You know, I'm not. You know, I'm picking up some nice blocks. I see him late. He goes high. You know, I'm at full speed and he goes high. And but the thing is, Coop, I'm not thinking he's going to fall in front of me like that. You know, so the hop, you know, I look down on him like, oh shit. It's kind of, I was like, do I step on his chest? Do I, so I just kind of do a little hurdle, and we're in the end zone, man. And then as you see that, I get there and I'm like, I put my hands on my head like, what the hell just happened?
And here's John Pennington, the head coach of where you're coaching now.
Yeah, we're down. Exactly.
So
again, stop his feet. Sean Taylor, Vilma. Get some blocks.
Oh my God.
We was ready to spring the upset, man. Unfortunately.
That was one of I can just tell you firsthand from watching that in real time. I jumped off the couch and ran screaming. That was amazing. That was incredible. One of the best runs ever. I mean, that goes down as one of the
best. Think about that is that one play. If you travel any football circles, that is the one play that people have seen. It is crazy to me. Like, damn, you that dude from West Virginia that ran over that guy? You're that dude? You're that? Oh, shit. It's just like – and like I said, this is still no Instagram. There's no Facebook was just coming along. My Black Planet, this wasn't what – like if that play would happen like today, Coop.
Oh, forget it.
Like it's banana. It'd be crazy, man. Crazy.
That was whew. Anyway, so that's what his whole entire high school film looked like. Just imagine he's not playing against Miami. He's playing against guys a third of that size. And he's about the same size.
147 pounds.
He's a little bit smaller than he is here, and he's just running through these guys just like that. That's what his high school film looked like for 3,000 yards. So every game you're just watching him. Like it looks like he's going to get tackled. Like he's going to get tackled. No. Okay, now he's running for an 80-yard run. And then there was just one run where you just ran completely over this poor defensive back. This poor, like, it's really like these poor kids. I seen you step on guys.
Exactly. Like, you feel bad for them.
It's unbelievable. You gotta get this on YouTube, man. At some time, you gotta show your own guys. You gotta show them who they're dealing with.
Yeah, I got you, man. I got to dig in the crate to find those VHSs.
So now you finish as a state champ your senior year.
Yep.
And now, do you play any other sports in the wintertime, in the spring? What do you do?
Basketball, baseball.
Uh-oh. I think we lost him. Oh, he's
Still
back.
there?
Yeah. Basketball.
Basketball in the winter. Track and baseball my senior year.
So, what'd you run in track?
100 and 200.
What were your times?
Shit, 11 flat was my best 100, and I ran 23-1 in 200.
Wait, you didn't run track till your senior year?
I ran my freshman and sophomore year, but it was I ran a bunch of I qualified for states, but I really didn't take it seriously. Track was like, you out there looking at the girls, man.
Right.
It wasn't serious at all. But my senior year, I got a little bit more focused and tried to actually train in the blocks and get your steps down for long jump, and it was actually a serious time.
So now, coming into your freshman year at West Virginia, 1999.
99. Whew.
What was how did you prepare?
You know what? My summertime, I played in some All-Star games. I came down to WVU a couple times. But just I remember I could not wait to get to camp. Could not wait to get to camp. Could not wait to get it was the longest summer ever. Just day after that was a countdown. And finally it came, and we're all checking in over there at the hotel, and you're kind of looking around at everybody because you met everybody at the spring game. So I had met like Scotty B and Torrey Johnson, and I met like most of the guys. So once we got to the hotel, I met Nick Sparks, my roommate. I'm at the spring game, and I've been talking to him. So, I was ready, man. I was ready to get there, and again, set that goal I was going to make that travel squad, man.
So here comes Quincy Wilson, number 39.
39.
Oh, that reminds me. You wore
39.
number 12. You wore number 12 in high school.
Yeah.
Why did you wear number 12?
It was a family number. Both my uncles wore it. My cousin wore it. And I was the fourth one to wear it at Where I.
So then how did you accept number 39 when you get to college?
You know what? You're a freshman and you fall in line, brother. You fall in. I don't even think they asked me what number I wanted. I think, they're just like, hey, you probably won't travel. Here's 39.
I think I was number 37 my first year. So 99 season comes, and so how was that first year? How was the transition from Weir High to
you know what? The transition was cool, man. I mean, only 3 of us out of our class, didn't redshirt. We were out there and we took the field. So ran down on kickoffs. It was on punt. Again, got some mop up duty stuff. Oh, so sorry. Got me?
Yep.
Got me. Got some mop up duty stuff. Ran for 100 yards against Rutgers. First collegiate touchdown. So, it was good because it set me up for that spring, that winter conditioning in that spring.
Wait a second. When did you run for 100 yards against Rutgers?
I meant to say my first collegiate touchdown.
Okay. 99. Wait, what run was it?
I forget, a little toss sweep. Just scored on him.
Okay. I don't remember that, but okay. Let's see. 99. So then going into the spring. So then we're moving into spring 2000. We're moving into the 20th century.
Yeah.
We're moving into the new millennium.
Millennium.
Remember that? Wait a second. Let's back up. Wait a second. Whoa. We skipped an important part. 1999. We're at practice one day. You come up to me and you say, "Sweetness is gone."
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah. Yep.
So here we go. So what was that like for you?
You know what? Going like that summer going in there, that's when Walter had got sick. And we ran to an event. We were at an event, and he wasn't like himself. His face was kind of, you don't want to say like, "Hey, Coop, what's wrong?" But you knew something was up, and they were really, really hush hush about it, and like I said, I think he got diagnosed, and I don't even think they knew it was going, that transition would even happen that fast. How they thought, all right, he's going to beat this. He's Walter freaking Payton. And it was like he got diagnosed, and like literally 4 months later, he passed. He was gone. So it was tough. It was tough, man. I knew Jared, and Jared went. He went to Miami, and it was, it was tough, man. Because we talked all. This is back in the calling card days. So, we would talk all the time about, yeah, can't wait to play. We went down to Miami. Our freshman, we played down in Miami. So, got to see him and the guys after the game, and then, like I said, to see him, to hear that, like you said, you never, like, your heroes are your heroes, man. And when someone tells you they actually are immortal, it's tough, man. It was tough.
So, here we are. We're almost 20 years later.
Jesus.
Right. So what to your knowledge, what happened to him, to Walter Payton?
I think, like I said, he had a rare liver cancer, and I know your liver, of course, that's your filter in your body, so you just never know what was going on. Was it hits? Did he have a lacerated spleen? And never, you don't know. What I mean? Only God knows that. But I mean, he was a picture of health. So. Like I said, I don't think cancer, discriminates, man. It's just one of those things where it hits you. He just happened to have stage 4. When he got diagnosed, it happened to be stage 4.
I heard that it was due to his excessive use of painkillers.
I've heard that.
I heard that he used to take the painkillers like candy. And back in the 80s, people, the drug use was rampant amongst everyone.
Right.
With cocaine and crack and, painkillers. And then no one knows, the effects of that stuff back then. So, it's just like, oh, okay. This numbs my pain. So I could see him, being, on a 1-13 Bears team or whatever.
I mean, there's been some people that said that, but have I ever physically seen him pop 7 pills? Never. So,
So that was 1999. That was that season. So now going into the spring 2000,
Right.
what was your mindset like?
I wanted to get as big and fast and strong as possible. You know, that was my only goal. I mean, as you know, we every day we went at it, man. You know, we both, you know, Avon played, and we both were like, hey, this can't happen again. You know, and I love Avon, but you know, it's just, you know, it was one of them things, man. The competition, you know, that's just the competitor in you. You know, you thought, man, there's no way. You know, if I get on the field, I'm gonna do this, and if I get on the field, I'm gonna do that. So that winter, it was all fair in love and war, you know. So, but like I said, I think it helped all of us, you know, because coming out of there, you know, we there was three tailbacks. We had probably the best backfield in the Big East, you know. If I don't get hurt, you know, it's one of those things where that 2000 season, I think we could have really made some noise with all three of us, because even Avon got hurt that season, you know. And you had to play a bunch of games, and he was kind of up and down, and like I said, I didn't play, so the potential in that backfield, you know, it could have been something that could still be talked about for sure.
So what happened in the spring? Talk about
typical me, running, breaking tackles, carrying people. Lance Frazier comes in low and just hits me that right moment, man. You know, Corey McIntyre on one side, him on the other side, and I think probably somebody else, and hits me, and instantly I knew. Like instantly, I felt it. Dave came out there. He was like, you know, what happened? I was like, it's not good, Dave. I felt it. It didn't hurt, but I knew what had happened.
See, now you have the kind of legs that it doesn't look like you have an ACL.
Exactly.
Never mind tearing one. Like that was like I couldn't believe that those legs could actually get injured.
Yeah, right. Any leg injuries.
So there goes your whole entire 2000 season.
Yeah.
And remember, we moved in together that summer.
Yeah.
And you had your bed on some what was it? Some kind of crate.
The Kroger crates or something.
And you said you had your TV on a Gatorade bottle, on a Gatorade.
It was college. College.
And you were growing your hair out and growing a beard, and just, you know, what was that like? What was
it was depressing. I think I was in a state of depression. A state of depression. But no, it was, you're disappointed. No, I you thought, damn, you don't, like, I missed the opportunity. Am I going to ever be what I was? You know what I mean? I think it was more fear of anything. I knew, I rehabbed that. I knew I was going to be able to pay back, and actually tried to come back, and they like kind of held me back, saying, hey, let's wait till the spring. But again, it was a blessing in disguise, man. I got another year in my belt, got it in my books, and it was, there she wrote, man. Get ready for, like you said, get ready for the winter condition, but with a whole new staff of crazy people coming.
So what was that like for you?
I had to work.
So hold on. Let me. So now, the coach that recruits you, Don Nealon,
yes,
he retires after that next year. After the year you hurt your knee, Don Nealon leaves. He retires after 20 years.
Right.
In comes Rich Rodriguez and his staff.
With a bang.
With it, spot the ball. They're cleaning house. This is a whole new attitude for West Virginia University.
Yes. So
now, what was your perception of that?
Whew, man, I was close to being one of those guys that were out. Me and Coach McGee didn't hit it off at first.
Coach McGee was the running back coach.
Yeah, Coach McGee was our running back coach. I was coming off a knee, and they were like, you're soft, it's this and that, and I'm just like, I have never dealt with adversity. I've been the greatest kid since 3. Now you get here, and you got people saying that you can't do what you've been doing. So, your love for the game goes down. It's just a lot of factors, man. I see how some kids get frustrated, and I see how kids get distracted. But again, I fought through it. I talked to my pops that played. Talked to my mom, and I talked to Coach Ford. And they're like, hey, just hang in there. It's tough on everybody. It's tough on there. But the one person it wasn't tough on was that goddamn Avon. Like, he just breezed through that shit, man. I was just like, fucker, like, goddamn, man. Like, he was just like the picture of like everyone else is like dying. We're in the fucking tour duty, like dying. He's like, come on, man. Oh, sorry, man. Like, fuck this, man. But again, that summer, the winter was sucked. That was the winter from hell. Spring sucked. I think it rained the spring game. It was just miserable. But that summer, I think Barwoods came in and we were, they kind of, all right, let's recalibrate and all that stuff. But I come back and hell, there's Cassell, there's you, it was again, we had a hell of a backfield, so I had to work my way in there, and really didn't play special teams again, mop up duty, got that 100-yard game against Rutgers, and kind of was like, all right, I can play here. I'm back.
There's that 100-yard game against Rutgers.
Yeah. Because my Rutgers games run together.
because that one run. How long was your touchdown run?
I think 70 yards, but I broke like 3 of them. I had like 6 for 129 and a touchdown.
And what was the final score when you scored?
West Virginia 80, Rutgers 7. We were up 56-0 at the half. Jesus.
Oh boy. So that was a rough year though. That first Rich Rodriguez year.
2001. Like I say, Rich Rod them came in, and that was
We were 3-8.
That was the year. That was a year. Yeah. That spring, that summer, that season. Wow.
Misery.
Yes.
I wanted to leave too. I was like, yo, I should dip, yo. I should be out.
Hey, I had called them. I had feelers out. I was gonna go Youngstown State, and it was gonna be over.
I had good relationships with you guys. That I had like 1 year left. I was like, I might as well just stick.
Right. But people don't realize that it was crazy.
Yeah.
They really, like you said, when you say they trying to clean, that is the perfect cliche. Like, they wanted to clean house, and we're gonna start from scratch. And those who stayed, we were better for it, man.
Yeah, I was like, I should leave too, but then I was like, I already been here 3 years. I got 1 year to go.
Right.
I'm gonna go somewhere else and learn a whole new system and start all over again. And
exactly.
I was like, fuck it, I'll just stay here. Give it my best, and it was just that was probably my worst year of football. Was that last year at West Virginia?
That was your senior year too, right?
Yep, the whole Notre Dame thing. I couldn't go to Notre Dame. And
the Notre Dame shit.
that was horrible. But we went to Notre Dame after the season.
We did.
Was that year or the year before?
We went. Wait a minute. Because it was the week of our banquet. It was the
year before. It was
2000. No, because we were at our banquet.
Yeah, it was 2000. It was
it was 2000 because Coach Hazel visited.
We drove out to Notre Dame.
Yeah, we still had Coach Hazel
in the van piece.
The van piece. The van piece made all the way South Bend, baby.
Oh my God. So now we're moving into your junior year at West Virginia, 2002.
Right.
So now, I'm gone. I think was Cassell still there? Was he gone too?
Yeah, he's still. Yeah, he lasted all 4 years.
So now you've worked your way up the depth chart because they seem to incorporate you and Avon.
Well, again, the spring was kind of still the same. Summer I had a great summer, and then we really didn't kick off to that Cincinnati game, man. we really weren't into that two-back system yet. It was kind of still that Woody Dantzler type, I one back read option. And Cincinnati, we just started flirting with it, putting two guys out there, and it fucking took off, man.
Because you had a lot of long runs that year.
Yeah. I mean, East Carolina ran for like 199, 100 yards against Syracuse, 100 yards against BC, 100 yards against Tech. Shit. I mean, I should have had 1,000, man. I should have had 1,000, man. But I got a 54-yard run called back against Rutgers. Still mad about that. That was my 1,000, man. We could have two backs over $1,000 because hell, Avon ran for 1,700. So
damn.
I mean, we were. That's like I said. That was the year where Rich Rodriguez offense took a whole new. Went to a new stratosphere.
Well, you had Rasheed Marshall at the quarterback that could run.
Yeah.
So that's what made it work.
Yeah, but think about this. In this day and age, we were 90% run. We didn't pass the ball until my senior year when we got Chris Henry. So that 2002 season, we were 90% run, and hey, 8-3, 8-4, something like that. We pounded people, man. We thought we were tougher than you. We pounded some people, man.
Damn. So now, damn, you finished close to 1,000 yards.
Yeah, 910.
Wow. And now moving into your senior year, now you're the lead guy.
Sure. I'm the man. And then they bring in this JUCO guy.
KJ Harris.
Yeah.
Who's supposed to be the next Bo Jackson?
Next Bo Jackson, yes.
So how do you prepare for the season? How do you prepare for being a man and having, this what could be this humongous guy, humongous big fast guy,
I'm
right
glad
behind
they did that. Now KJ was a freak now. Now, those that he was 6 foot 240, and that motherfucker can run. He can fucking run. But I seen Avon do it, man. I picked up stuff from him, like just freaking work. Put your head down, just work. Be the first in everything. Be in front of every line and tour duty. Just be the guy. And let everything else sort itself out. It was me, KJ. We had Jason Colson. We had Eric Phillips. We had two young guys behind us. We had Heike. We had a good little group. And I was like, man, I got to lead these guys, man. Even KJ, I was like, hey, I know you may be coming in from JUCO, but, this is my shit. I always remember Avon saying, this is my shit. I was like, all right, we're going to see, So I just took that mentality, man, and it worked, man. Had a great senior season, man. Great senior season, and got down to the Gator Bowl, and it's the way you want to finish, man. After a long career of injuries, and like you said, thinking about transferring and all this other BS that goes on in a college career, and to end on that note, it was storybook, man.
So, what was your best game your senior year?
Pitt, 210 against Pitt, 4 touchdowns.
I was at the first game.
Wisconsin.
No, I wasn't at the first. No, I wasn't there. No, that's wrong. I was at the first home game that year.
Wisconsin.
Was it Wisconsin?
You were at Wisconsin.
Yeah, that's right. I was, because we played them at home.
You're an Angel. I remember you an Angel being.
Yep. So I remember seeing you your senior year. So having seen you for 5 years,
right?
Watching you grow, to see you. I was also at the Pitt game. I remember seeing you. I remember walking onto the field, seeing you. You and Grant looked huge. You looked. What were you? 220.
225. Yeah.
Whew, 5'9", 225. How fast would you say you were?
I'd say I was 4'6".
Now, 4'6" doesn't sound like it's fast, but
it doesn't. But
you're faster than 4'6". I'll say that.
Yeah.
Or at least you play faster than 4'6", or maybe 4'6".
You know what? My thing is I carried my pads well. I was just as fast as I was in pads as I was out of pads. You know, you got some guys who are just, I say track guys where they're 4.3, and like I said, if I broke out, you know, you're gonna have to bring your horse to try to get me down.
That's for sure. So I remember seeing you right before that game, and you just went off on those guys. Pittsburgh, huge games your senior year. Virginia Tech, I remember watching that one.
Yeah, Virginia Tech.
I mean, you were back to running like you were back in Weirton High.
Exactly. Yeah.
So you finish. How many career yards did you finish at West Virginia with?
Oh, geez, I think a little over almost 2,000. Almost 2,000. I think I'm 5th all-time rushing. I think maybe still. Who knows?
And then what happens?
You know what? I go to some all-star games. I got invited to the East-West Shrine. Got invited to the Combine. I had a great pro day.
What were you running? What were your times?
I ran 4. Well, at the top bench at the Combine. Had 225 for 28.
What?
And then I was top 10 in like all the other running events, like long jump, vertical jump. I think I was like I think I had the top BJ, and I was like top 5. I mean, top 10 and everything, all the rest of the things. So I felt good. I was like, man, I think I can go, third to 5th round. That was, in my mind, after comparing, because coming out that year, with Steven Jackson, Kevin Jones, Mel Day Moore, Greg Jones, Florida State. So there was some good back. It was a good class for backs. Tatum Bell, Oklahoma State. So, but I looked at my numbers and I looked at what I did against Miami and Virginia Tech. I told the guys at the scouting combine, I was like, my best games were against our best opponents. I had my best games against our best guys. So I thought that translated well, to NFL. Who cares what you do against Rutgers? What'd you do against Miami? What'd you do against Virginia Tech? So just going into that whole draft process, in my mind, I had already third to fifth. So back then the draft was only 2 days. So that first day comes, and I know it wasn't going to be first day, but you still, you never know. And draft starts, and some guys start coming off the board, and you're like, oh, shit, maybe I might get drafted. I might get drafted early because these guys are getting drafted. And first day didn't happen for me. And the thing people don't realize about the draft is they start calling you. So like Tampa Bay will call you and say, hey, if you're there in the 6th, we're going to take you. New Orleans will call, hey, if you're there in the 7th, we're going to, and it fucks with you because your phone's ringing. And it's an NFL team, and you're thinking you're getting drafted, and they're just asking about, would you sign as a free agent? Or would you do this? Would you do that? So the draft goes, 4th round, 5th round comes, 6th round, and now the 6th round comes, and I'm like over it. I'm like, man, this is bullshit. There's people getting drafted I didn't even heard of. This dude from Nebraska. Like, I was like, running back? What? Like, there was even that. So, you start questioning everything. And I said, hey, you're going to work out. And I remember the Steelers calling. And I remember them saying, hey, we got picked like 234. We're going to draft you. And that was the first time I heard that. Like, we're going to draft you. Like, if you're there, we were going to draft you. And I'm like, Steelers, hometown, awesome.
That would have been perfect. That would have been perfect. You would have been perfect fit for them.
Yeah. Tampa Bay calls. Hey, if you're there at pick 22, it's like kind of like 2 picks that we're going to draft you. Perfect. Atlanta calls. We drafted you. So I was like your heart stops. Like, wait a minute. I just got, I had people at the house. So I'm like, they're yelling, they're screaming. I'm like, call now. I can't hear what they're saying. Like, so then you're watching because it's like 5 minutes behind. So I get off the phone, all that stuff, and 5 minutes later, I see the name goes out. They show the Miami game highlights, and they're like, yeah, this is a steal, this and that. And like, for that day, you're like, again, what I've been waiting for since 2. I'm going to play in the NFL. I'm going to play in the NFL. damn, going to Atlanta, work done, TJ Duckett. You're like, shit, this is what it is, man. And again, you get drafted, and then that next weekend, you're at minicamp. So within a week, you're in pro football. So, like, your whole mindset, like you say, you have to recalibrate. And, I got there and I thought I had a decent minicamp, and came back, and we had a new staff, so we had an extra camp because of Coach Mora. So I felt good about camp, went into camp, and camp went well. Half the time I was on back out there because Warwick kind of took veteran days, and TJ was banged up. So I thought I got a pretty good chance to make this team. And but I did terrible in the games. Man, I just get these games, man. The nerves and anxiety. It was terrible. I thought it was terrible. So final cuts come. So some people don't realize there's 2 cuts. So there's the last cut, and then kind of like that day and kind of wait. So you can make the 53 and then be cut again. So I make the 53. I'm like, holy shit, I'm on the team. And then I get cut like that next day. So I'm like, oh shit, what happened? They're like, well, we got cut, but we're gonna put you on practice squad. So I was like, what the hell is practice squad? It's like, well, you practice with the team, you just don't play in games. So I was like, oh, I'm still on the team? I'm like, cool. You're like, whoo, okay, good. So practice squad with Atlanta all year. Just 3 games left into the season. My agent calls me, and he's like, hey, do you want to stay in Atlanta, or do you want to get some active games with Cincinnati? And I was like, what do you mean active? He's like, well, as people, again, people don't realize there's game checks, and then there's the practice squad checks. We were making about 100,000. I think practice squad back then was like 100,000. So, I'm making good money for me. I'm thinking they told me what them game checks were. So okay, well, yeah, let's do that. So I get so Cincinnati picks me up off the practice squad. So I go up there for 3 games with Cincinnati, and spend the off season up there, and going to training camp with them, and of course, my usual, go through all that. End up getting cut, but again, doing another year on practice squad. The next year, I make the team. So 2006, I was a Cincinnati Bengal and played. Got to camp 2007. Yeah, 2007, get to camp. Make the roster again. But, again, they cut me that second cut, which kind of messed me up because I probably could have got picked up. Did the whole season, but then they bring me back the last game of the season for Miami. Then again, go through the same thing in 2008, training camp, get cut, and then it was over after that. But again, got 4 years in, man. It was a dream come true, as they say.
Damn, that's like going to college again. I mean, that's another 4 years in the NFL.
Somebody asked me, man. They were like, man, I bet playing in the NFL was like a dream come true. I was like, you know what? It was the most stressful thing in the world because, I mean, it's a revolving door. So, we see guys, you think we're balling and they get cut. Or you think this and that and they get cut. So, like, I was never comfortable. I was there, but I never, like, enjoyed, like, looking back on it now, I feel like I should have. I always wanted to be, I think it was good. I think that's kind of what kept me around because I was always first in meetings. I knew my shit. I could play special. I could do anything on special teams. I was, I think that's what kept me around. Just that mindset of never settling. I didn't go buy a house. I didn't go buy, an Escalade. I was just a guy, and I think that helped me, get last that long.
Wow. So growing up, I'm sure being a Florida State fan, you admired Warwick Dunn. So what was it like to be in the same
low key fucking dying inside? Like Warwick Dunn, like stop it. Like anybody that's like watch college football, 28, he had no mouthpiece. You knew about his mom being a police officer. You feel like you know him because she don't know you from Adam, and he was real soft spoken guy and real he's real. I mean he was the first one that told me, hey man, Don't be going out there and doing all this shit in Atlanta. You know, in Atlanta, people don't know back then, Atlanta was, you know, the city. You know, it's kind of calmed down now, but Atlanta was where everybody came to party. You know, Buckhead and, you know, Lenox. You know, they had every strip club in the world. I mean, it was, you know, all the rappers were from Atlanta, Ludacris, and it's just Atlanta was crazy. And I remember him saying, "Don't be in them streets. Don't do that. Don't." And like I say, he didn't tell me nothing, but you know, he seen that I had potential, and he was like, "Hey, you know, I know the pitfalls that can happen, and you know, I'm always like in gratitude to him for that because, you know, again, you know, I was able to survive a year, you know, down there without incident."
So who's the quarterback?
Oh, Michael James Vick. Michael Vick.
So let's rewind for a second. Let's go back to when we first meet Michael Vick.
Yes, 99.
We first meet Michael Vick in 1999.
Yes, sir.
What was your take on Michael Vick then?
Well, I remember the whole game. We were there. Like, I remember them being, like, undefeated and everybody talking about, yeah, this and that. I was like, man, this team, they're trash. Like, we should be winning this game. And, you know, we score and, all we got to do is hold them. I'm like, all right, let's go. Let's hold them. And, you know, he happened. You know, he rolled out and kept running and, you know, got them in the field goal range. And, you know, that guy kicks a field goal. And, that kind of set his trajectory on another level, you know, that game. So, you know, it's football. You know, it is one of the things. But, again, he was one that – I tell people all the time, I was like, Mike was the cool – like, he was one of the most down – for a guy, like, he was big, like, big time. Like, Michael Vick was it. Like, even like what LeBron is now – Michael Vick. And the way he carried himself, man, like, I mean, he had so many people around him and almost so much pressure. I mean, but he still balled. You know, usually, you know, you get that pressure, and you just turn on the Michael Vick highlight, and you're like, damn, the dude was unreal. Doing that against NFL guys, like, stop it. And but he was great, great dude, man. We had a good team, man. I think, you know, certain things would have happened. You know, that team, I mean, because that year they ended up going to the NFC Championship game, so they were that close, you know, to be, you know, being a super team. Just, you know, this wasn't the right mix, but great experience, man, for sure. And they always ask me, what was your favorite, Cincinnati or Atlanta? I was like, that 1 year in Atlanta was unbelievable.
Remember, Mike? I thought our friend Dave, the Wanderer, looked like Michael Vick.
The greatest college nickname in the history of nicknames.
So I remember after that game, I was like, yo, the Wanderer ran all over us today.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Okay, so when you get to Cincinnati, who are your running backs?
Rudy Johnson, Chris Perry, and Kenny Watson.
You were there 3 years?
Yeah.
Same guys all 3 years?
Yep, all the same guys, man. That 2005 season, Chris was again, he was in our class, 2004 class, first round pick. 2005, he was hurt. 2004 he was hurt. 2005 he came back, had a good year. Him and Rudy were kind of the guys, like I said. And then that next year he was hurt, so we kind of got, you know, to his misfortune, you know, kept me around really, you know, because he was a first round guy, and you know we needed the back. So, but it was always, and then 2008 season is when Rudy left, and they kind of went another way. They kind of made Chris the feature guy.
I remember seeing Rudy Johnson on MTV Cribs.
Yeah.
Big ass house, all the cars.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And then what happened?
He got hurt. I mean, he ran for, I think, like 1,400 yards, 2 straight years. Pro Bowl. We all went to Hawaii. You know, and then, like I said, just the NFL, man. The NFL happened. That 2000 season when he got hurt, 2008, they were like, hey, you know, when you're on the money, they're always going to be looking for that cheaper option. Always. But man, I still talk to Ricky, man. He's a great dude, man. Ain't changed a bit. One of them guys that is exactly the same guy the first day I met him.
What's he doing now?
He's down in Miami, just living.
Does he work now? What does he do? You still have money?
He runs. He does something. He does something with. He has a foundation he runs, and then he was doing something with the NFL actually, when they were going over like NFL Europe and stuff. So he's still around the game a little bit.
What are some of those other guys? Some of your other former teammates from the NFL teammates doing? Chris Perry.
Oh man,
Watson.
Some of them guys I ain't seen in years, man. Years, man.
Work done. What's he up to now?
Work. Still down in Atlanta.
Did you ever see Work done work out?
NFL workout, yeah.
What's that mean?
Treadmill, push-ups, shower.
How does that so okay. All right. So being someone that's wanted to play in the NFL, grew up in the NFL, pretty much. Grew up in the NFL, right?
Right.
Because your dad played. You know, amazing high school career. You know, adverse college career, but still ending on a high note.
Right.
4-year NFL career, right? Now you're a running back coach.
Right.
Right. So now how do you train how do you train for that kind of career? Like, what is the consistent thread that a running back must do to have that kind of success?
Right. I think you got to be fortunate. I think you got to be lucky. I mean, because as you know, running back, I mean, you're a carry away, sprain away. You know what I mean? It's just no one can train their body to not get hurt, if that makes sense. You can't bench press every day and not think you're ever going to break your arm in a game, or, you know, just certain things are going to happen. That's just how it is. I think where I tell my guys is being prepared to play. I think a lot of times, like, I wasn't prepared to play football, meaning getting in there and they're like, hey, you got to get in there, you got to run a play. And, you know, you kind of just go through, you know what I mean? You just go run the play and dive for like 3 yards instead of reading the play out. And, you know, so that's the way I coach my guys. Is I want you need to be ready to play. You need to be ready to play. And I don't mean just saying that. Like, I mean, if this happens, you have to be ready to play. And I think you can't underestimate the mental side of football. Physical side, I mean, like I said, anyone can lift, anybody can run, but the mental side of the game is what keeps people off the field, really. You know, just think of my first couple of years at West Virginia, me not knowing the offense as well as you guys kept me off the field. So now, like, when I'm coaching, I make sure that fourth or fifth guy knows, hey man, what do you got? Check. I really like drill that, because I'm like, hey, I was that guy that didn't ask that question because I thought, all right, I'm gonna kind of breeze through this, and if it comes through, and then your ass has to get in the game and you fuck it up. So, mental. That is, I can't stress the mental side of football. The football game is the most important in my eyes. If I had to look back on my career, I think that's what kept me off the field. My first couple of years in high school, first couple of years in West Virginia, and I finally figured that out in the NFL, that you need to know everything. You need to know what he does. You know, think about it as a quarterback, where you have to know every position.
So knowledge of the offense, or just general football intelligence?
I think knowledge of the offense, and I think, like, again, being ready to play and knowing you're going to play, I think it's two different things. Like, the way I felt my junior and senior year, I felt like I was the best running back in the Big East. You know what I mean? So I prepared to be the best, And physically, I knew if I got it, you know what I mean? I had the confidence that I could run everything we got, if that makes any sense. So, like I said, the mental side of knowing, and then the confidence, like, hey, yeah, you can do this. You're good.
Well, you know, it seems like from what I've noticed and what I've gathered in my research and my own career, you know, you lift some guys. You weren't a big lifter in high school.
Right.
You start lifting in college.
Right.
Then guys get to the pros. All that lifting is done. No one lifts anymore.
Right. But during the season, yeah. There's off season, people get after it. If you look at Odell Beckham, you look at he goes to those exos, and you look at his workout, you'd be like, yeah, that's now when he gets to giant shit. Of course, he ain't doing the level of intensity and training is not that. But from January to I say May, them guys are paying $100,000 plus, to get ready.
They're paying.
Oh yeah, that's big business now.
They're paying trainers?
They're either paying trainers or they're going to Exos, those training, pre-draft training places, and then getting that work in. So we were lucky. We had Mike. So the summer times I go WVU. I'll be, working out with Pat, Steve, what I mean, out there running. I'm out there with them guys because, I knew Mike was going to have us right,
What's Steve Slayton doing now?
He's a chef. He's down in Houston, man. Culinary chef.
Pat White's running his camps and stuff, right?
No, he's the quarterback coach at Alcorn State now.
Really?
Yeah.
Alcorn State. Wow. Let's see. Who else? Noel Devine.
Down in Florida. He does training. He has a Noel Devine speed training, personal training thing he does.
So looking back, so ultimately, where do you want to go career-wise?
I want to be the first African American national championship. First win the national championship. Black coach to win the championship.
Head coach?
Head coach, yes.
You'll be a head coach, college head coach.
Yes.
Wow. Florida State?
I'll coach at Alcorn State if it's a job.
So, how are you progressing on your coaching career path to becoming a head coach?
You know what? I got into it late. After football, of course, everybody goes through the what's next stage. I was doing personal training. Got into sales. It was industrial sales. I worked with an industrial sales company, and was still in the state. WVU had just won the Orange Bowl with Dana Hogerson, those guys, and I went over there and just said, "Hey, I'm ex-player. Congrats on the Orange Bowl. I'm around. If you guys ever need anything, holla at me. Just cool." And that was in January. May, they called me like, "Hey, we're looking for to hire a minority and this and that. Would you be interested?" And at the time, I was, I love what I do. And I was like, "Well, what is the job?" He's like, "You're basically doing this, doing that." And I was like, "Okay, that's cool." What I mean? It was a new job. They created the job. So there wasn't a precedence where this is what you're going to do. This is what you're not. So threw caution to the wind. So 2012 season. So 2012, 13, 14, and 15, I was assistant director of football operations with WVU. And basically I did, I handled our camps and clinics. I handled our housing, financial aid. I was basically coach forward in essence. I was doing that stuff. But that third year, I started like, I want to coach. And I would talk to these kids. We have some kids that quit, and you gotta go talk them off the ledge. All right, man, it ain't worth that. But I realized that like these guys, only thing that affects these kids is of course their scholarship and playing time. And you know, I can talk to them blue in the face, but, you know, the only thing they're going to respond to, am I playing or what am I getting on my check? You know, and so I started like putting feelers out, like, hey, you know, thinking about coaching. What do you think? Thinking about coaching. What do you think? And I had I had developed a great relationship with Coach McGee and those guys, and they had moved on. He was like, well, you know, if you want to coach, you probably, you know, for you, you know, getting in late, you probably have to go D2 and work your way back up. I was like, okay, well, whatever. And talked to you know, of course, I did our coaches clinic, so all those guys would come. You know, West Liberty, Glenville, you know, all these D2. You know, there's 7 D2s in West Virginia, and they would always come to our clinic. And I was like, hey, you know, what? You guys have anything? No, you guys ever have anything? No. And the thing was crazy is, like, there were jobs that would be open, but they were like, well, you know, the money's not right, so we wouldn't think you would want it. And I'm like, well, shit, I need to get experience. I need to get coaching experience. So finally, Glenville, you know, he called me. He's like, hey, man, I got a position open. Money. I was like, hey, I don't care about the money. I need to get into coaching. So went to Glenville for a year. So 2016 season was in Glenville. I had a kid that converted from receiver to running back. You know, ended up making, you know, second team all conference. John ends up getting the position at West Virginia State, ex-teammate, and he's like, "Hey, man, well, trying to get this place started, man. Would you come down?" So, ended up going down to West Virginia State last year. First winning season since 2008. We were 6-5. I had a freshman that was all freshman of the year in our conference, first team all conference. So, yeah, man, going into this year two, man. So it's if anyone asks about how you get into coaching, there's no set way to get into it. I would say, you know, I know some guys they graduate, they go into grad school, and they go into GA, and they kind of get into it. But even then, you know, there's no guarantee, because, you know, everybody wants that job. When the job opens up, 80 people apply. So what I've learned, you know, just, you know, this couple of years of being coaching, is you have to network. I mean, you have to go, you have to shake these hands. Like, we was at the Clinton, our coaches convention this year was in Charlotte, and I went up to Coach Sumlin. Hey, Coach Sumlin, Quincy Wilson, West Virginia State. Pleasure to meet you. Went up to Dino Barros, up to Syracuse. Coach, pleasure, Quincy Wilson. Not going in there, hey, Coach, if you have anything, no, they're just, hey, introduce myself, where I'm from, love what you guys are doing with the program, keep it moving, you know. So, like I said, network, and there's programs out there. You know, the NFLPA does. You know, there's some internships you can do and this stuff. So it's you know, it's cool, man. But I feel like I'm on the right trajectory. You know, going into my second year. You know, who knows? The next couple of years, want to be a coordinator. And definitely, you know, want to be the head coach here. If there's a 5-year plan within the next 5 years, you know, be a head coach somewhere.
How did Pennington become a head coach?
He was the OC at State, and, you know, he petitioned for that. He petitioned for it. He was all over it. Had a plan together, and they ended up hiring him. But wow. He's been in it 8 or 9 years. He coached at Wesleyan, coached at Concord, you know, he coached at State 2 different times, coached at Western. You know what I mean? So he's been, you know, unlike me, 2 years, he's been in it for a while. So.
Wow. Okay. So in your coaching career, and as you're progressing as a coach and having the goal of wanting to be a national champion head coach, right?
Right.
Have you studied the national championship teams?
Oh, yes.
What goes into having a national champion team?
Oh, I think your organization of your program, you know, who's your academics, who's your strength coach, you know, your relationship with your AD, you know, your scheduling, you know, just like like, I feel like, for instance, if I was a coach at West Virginia, you know, I would want I would model my program. I would sell my program as we're going to take care of the locals, Pennsylvania, Ohio, Virginia, we're going to dominate these areas and then pluck anywhere else. Like kind of what Penn State does. If you ever look at Penn State's recruiting class, it's Pennsylvania, it's Rutgers, it's Maryland. It's New Jersey. They take care of the 3-hour radius, and then they may pluck a kid from Carolina. They may pluck a kid from this and that. So I think your recruiting plan is huge. Like where we're going to get our guys, people you hire. I think you can't, like, you have to hire. I think I heard a coach say at the convention, don't hire anybody that can't do your job. So don't hire your boys. Don't just hire, a guy you think is like, don't hire anybody that can't do your job. So you can't be afraid, someone knows more than you that, I can't hire Coop because, he's been a running back coach for 10 years. That jealousy, well, not jealousy, but that ego, can't, you got to hire the best people. And then your system, how do you develop kids? If you're a D2, you're not going to get a D1 guy. So how do we turn 1-star or 2-star? How do we get the most out of that kid? And and if you're at the FCS, maybe you have a kid that maybe slipped through the cracks, and maybe you just, but how do we develop this kid to get him there? It's how you, once you get him, it's how am I going to develop this kid for the next 4 years? And I think, I look at Alabama. I think their method is we're going to recruit the best kids every year, and whoever works out, and whoever doesn't, they're going to fall by the wayside. I think you look at a place like look at Clemson. Clemson is getting the most out of their talent. Like they get these kids that are 3 or 4-star kids. Now they're starting to get the 5-star guys, but majority of their kids are 3, 4 that are just, wow, this guy's nice. Or that Hunter, like a Hunter Winthrow, where he catches 2 touchdowns against Bama. He probably didn't get recruited by Limestone State, but he's catching touchdowns. So is their method is we're going to develop. Their method is more development than family and all that. So having a plan and never wavering from that plan. So if you start off 3-8 your first year, you can't be like, oh well, now we have to eat lunch at 8 and 9:30 instead of 10:30. It's like if your plan is your plan, you stick with your plan, and of course you're going to adjust some stuff as it goes because you learn. But whatever your core values is, that is what it is. So to me, like if I'm ever running a program, we're gonna develop. Number one, we're gonna develop your son into the best kid he can be on and off the field, and in the community. We're gonna work harder than anybody else out there, and of course everyone lift weights. But the way we train, because I was trained in the crazy Barwitz methods, and I was trained, So the way we train is going to be a little unique, but we're going to get the best out of you. And then when we play football, I want to see our guys compete. You're not going to out-talent everybody most of the time, but hustle and how hard you play can never be, that can never be, questioned. Like when someone turns on tape and they're playing a Quincy Wilson team, they're going to say, you know what, we better get ready to play because these guys they're going to fight us. These guys are coach well. These guys play hard, and this is going to be our toughest game of the season. And to me, that'd be the ultimate respect. Somebody comes up and says, you know what, coach, this week was hell getting ready for you guys, and we're glad it's over.
I was watching a football. I don't know if it was a Football Life or one of those NFL shows. I think it was a Football Life, and it was the '95 Cleveland Browns.
Yeah.
And when Belichick came in, when he got the job, he had the blueprint for a Super Bowl winning team.
Right.
He had a binder, and knowing that how to set up the team. You need X number of guys at this age, and blah 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 blah. And then Saban was on that staff.
Right.
So both of them, Belichick being with the Patriots and Saban being with Alabama all these years, has been consistent in winning national champions. national championships. Last
And
year, they won with true freshmen.
With contending, yeah.
National champions with true freaking freshmen, right?
Yeah.
So how do you, so what, in your opinion, so you said a lot of this stuff, but like, is your goal to be a repeating national champion like a Alabama, like a New England Patriots? And do you have a little bit of that, the secrets of their success in your
But I think, again, they have a system. Like if you go to New England and to a man, they'll tell you, this is the way it's run and this is the way we do things. You know what I mean? It's not that they do anything different from anybody, in which I'm sure they do. And I'm sure they have some unique schemes that, they do the way that I think New England is more of a team that we out-prepare you. We're going to be ready for everything you do, plus 7 things, plus that. I think Bama, a lot of times out-athletes guys, where, they have a 6'4", 230-pound guy who can run a 4.4 and play safety. Or we have a 6'1" corners, and we have 250-pound running backs, and we have a quarterback that can throw a fucking, they have those guys that now they got to develop them, but they have a system where whoever's in there, it doesn't matter, and I think if you look at like Alabama's linebackers, like you can put them all on the line and they all look the same. You know what I mean? If you look at they're all like, they recruit a certain, there are no walk-ons play there. Like they recruit a certain kid, a certain this, a certain there's no wavering. Saban, if you come to Saban, hey guy, I got this 5'7" receiver, he's going to look at you like, all right, obviously you want fired. You know what I want. This is what, get this kid here or get out. You know what I mean? There's no way. You look at Calvin Ridley. You look at Julio Jones. They've always had a 6'3" receiver that gets down the field. Look at the running backs. They have a Derrick Henry. They have a Bo Scarborough. They have that. They just plug the next guy in. You know what I mean? So I think if there's a secret, it's like they recruit to their system. And like I say, Alabama, it took 2 or 3 years, but now they're there. New England, they have that core. But if you look at Belichick, look at every 4 or 5 years, he'll just change his whole secondary and get 5 new guys to coach. Let them get there. Let them get there. They'll get a whole, but it's the same system. But he wants, he knows what he wants. He knows what's going to work. Like you said, he already has the blueprint. He's seen it work with Parcells. He says, hey, this is what it takes to win the NFL, and it hasn't changed since, '89.
So now your dad played on the Super Bowl team, right? So yeah. Do you ever want to be an NFL coach?
You know what? I don't think I'm an NFL guy. I like recruiting. I like sitting in living rooms. I like, seeing a kid come in at 17 and watch them graduate at 22. That's more I'm more of a college guy than an NFL guy.
Interesting. So what advice would you give to your 15-year-old self?
15-year-old self. I would tell my 15-year-old self, don't be afraid to fail. Okay. Number one, this is a failure. This is the afraid to fail society in my mind. Younger generation. I have a son, and I recruit. 17, 16-year-old gang. The generation is different. They are afraid to fail society. And you can't be that way. You cannot live life. That is life. This shit happens, and can't be afraid to fail. Work your ass off. Know your craft, study your craft, be a great teammate. Never not stop wanting to learn. Whenever you think you know something, that's when you need to stop doing it. And I think a lot of times I got to a point where, oh yeah, I'm good. I don't need to watch film. I got this shit. Like bullshit. Create good habits. I would tell them create good habits on and off the field.
So when you say study your craft, as a running back, what would you study?
Yeah.
Like pretend you're talking to yourself in your own living room.
To me,
what would you tell yourself to study?
To me, as a running back, I would say, if I was talking to me, like when I was getting old, when I was coming up, I would say study. Take whoever I think was the best player at that time, and study what makes him good. Okay, well, is he like I remember Eddie George? Okay, Eddie George was 6'3", 230 pounds. So, but he was a power back. So to me, I thought, well, hell, I'm a power back. I need to be able to break tackles, yak, yards after contact, boom. So when I say study your craft, I would always hear, run with your pads. Run, don't give people your chest. This little stuff like that that carries over to your game. Like take a little piece and add it to your game. Like, yeah, you're not 6'3", but you're 230 pounds. You should be able to break tackles and be able to move the chains. And I tell my guys now, like my freshman kid, he was the all conference. I was like, you need to be a better football player. Like you can't be standing next to the quarterback and ask him, well, what plays we got. You got to know the offense. And when you learn the offense, you're going to be that much like you're out there playing. You don't even know the offense. So imagine what you will do when you do know the offense. So find it like I think it's fine. Find what works for your guys. So what works for Coop might not work for me. What work for Avon? What work for me? Finding that little thing in there that says, hey, this is what's going to keep you successful. This is going to happen, and then always pushing that confidence in them. Like I tell my guys all the time, I text them. Like I'll text them, hey man, you got a great practice today, man. Keep it up. Just letting them know, because a lot of times kids think, well, hey, they don't see me balling. They don't see me, you know what I mean? So that's my thing. I try to every other day try to say, hey man, that pass you caught in 7-on-7 was crazy. I like what you're doing, man. Keep what you're doing, just so they know, like, damn, coaches. And I make sure I would do it like late, like 11:30 or something. And I was like, yeah, I was thinking, man, to think about that all night, even though I wasn't. But they don't know that. But little things like that, and that builds that confidence and that trust in there with your guys.
Well, you played linebacker your first 2 years in high school.
Yes.
That came in handy later on when you had to play special teams.
Exactly.
So being an overall football player.
Yeah, and I told my guys this, my freshman, my 4 freshmen. I was like, hey, if you want to get on this travel squad, you better be on at least 2 teams. That's how you earn your way. That's how you earn carries, is on special teams.
So, a couple final questions here. Having gone through your whole career, how many concussions would you say you had?
I'd say high school, maybe 2. Maybe. College, I say probably the same thing, 2 or 3. And NFL, I say like 2 or 3. So I'd say probably 9 or 10 in my life.
So do you have any lingering effects or lingering injuries?
You know what? I mean, I'm sure I do. I mean, there's parts of my body that hurt, but I don't know if that's from football. You know what I mean? Like, an ankle. I could have turned my ankle playing basketball. You know what I mean? It's just but as far as a cerebral, brain trauma and all that stuff, I don't drive to Mississippi and forget where I'm going. You know what I mean? I'm not there. But I think, there is some that I do worry about that eventually as you get older, what kind of effects, because I was a power runner. That was my, I lowered my head many a times, for that stuff, and seeing the floaties come down and all that stuff. So I wonder about that. But for now, I'm gonna live in the now, and as long as we're good now, we're gonna keep on the right path, man, of health, as they say.
What about your dad? Did he have any lingering injuries?
You know what?
Good
It
stuff.
was a different game, man.
Right.
It was
He
a
played
different game.
back in the 80s.
He's had his bad joint, bad parts stuff, but I mean, still sharp, still plays golf, still works out. 61 years old, so he's still active. He's still active because a lot of his buddies aren't. Dave Dorson, of course, passed, and a couple of the guys he played with, they look like they're 90. So he's fortunate, but he still has his struggles like anybody else.
When your football career was over, when you realized it was over, what was that like for you?
Tough, man. I think I kind of mentioned that. Like, I didn't know what I was going to do. I of course I got a degree, and but you don't prepare for that. Even though I was always on that cut line, I always thought, well, hell, I'll get picked up, or I'll go to Canada, or there was always football. So when it's over, you're like, well, shit, it's a reality. But I've always been a personable person. So, I met people here and I met people there, and they would always say, well, you should try this, or you should try this, or you should get your CDL, or you should get just throwing out ideas of stuff I should try. And like I said, the personal training thing stuck first, and I got my certification, and I was training, and I liked it, but it was, it wasn't. I didn't see it as a career. And like I said, I got into sales, and again, I didn't think I'd be good at it, but they taught me that, and I kind of developed my own little kind of, game plan, as they say, to that, and I think that helped me because in recruiting, now that I recruit, I'm a salesman. Now, I sell West Virginia State, to parents, to coaches, to players. So. I think that sales, maybe I wasn't a grad assistant, doing that stuff, but I got 3 years of experience in real life, with coming into there, and, you got 5 minutes to wow these people, and if you don't, you don't. And if you do, you got chances, buy them. And that's kind of how recruiting is. You get kind of that little window where you kind of can pique their interest. And if you pique their interest, they're going to be interested in you. And if you're not, they kind of push you off to the side. So I think everything in my life has kind of stirred me to the path I'm on now, which is, again, wanting to be a head coach and wanting to lead a program.
All right. So last question. So for a kid that's a freshman in high school, wants to go to the NFL, mm-hmm. How should they train? So this is the running back training camp, and I'm into training here. So how does a running back train that wants to go?
How does a running back train? I think you cannot study enough different people from yourself. So for kids these days, I would say, hey, go on YouTube and look up somebody. Look up somebody. I always think I think college. I always pick a college guy. Like I showed our guys LaMichael James, and if you didn't watch him in college, he was unreal. But just the things he did, and he was $175, $180. But I mean, he ran hard. He cut. He did. He did everything. The guys looked at him. They're like, whoa. Because in your mind, well, hey, best running back I've ever seen is such and such. Or you have your own opinion until someone says, here, watch this, or here, watch that. So I always expose every week during the season. We had like a different back we would watch. Not even our guy. I was like, hey, this first 5 minutes, we're going to watch this guy. We watch this guy. We watch this guy. So they can kind of.
Who are those guys? Huh? Who are those guys?
Oh, man. We watched Michael James. We watched Adrian Peterson. His freshman year at Oklahoma. We watched the two guys from Georgia this year, Sony Michel and Nick Chubb.
We played against Swift in high school.
Oh, DeAndre.
Yep.
Yeah, beast. He is a beast. Of course, the Miami guys, McGahee, Clinton Portis, Frank Gore, Lee Suggs. We watched Lee Suggs. So just I like guys that are just about out of their range. Like, of course, they know about the guys now, but I like going back Like we watch Steve and Pat, watch their highlights. Just because like I said, to me it's funny because the kids we're recruiting now were born in 1999 and 2000, which I was in college. So they have no kind of like they don't even have a concept of Pat White, and Steve Slayton. You know what I mean? Owen Schmidt. Just guys like that, like Ryan Grant. Just they couldn't tell you who's that. They know they know the now. So I'm always kind of trying to let them know that there were some guys that came before you, Chris Johnsons and those guys that that were gorillas.
Best top 3 running backs you've ever seen. Best 3 running backs
in person.
Yep.
In person. Whew. Nah, put me on the spot, man. Put me on the spot. I say, whew, boy. Wow, that's a tough one, man. Oh, okay, wait. Are we going in person or just an all-time list?
Like that you've seen, that you either played against?
Played against? Okay. For a college back, and you may remember this guy, but William Green at Boston College.
Oh yeah, of course.
Was a grown man. Like what he did against us, I was just like, I felt bad for like Rick Sherrod and them because he was so physically dominate. Like William Green, Boston College.
There's no highlights of him on YouTube.
Really?
Yep. I've looked him up. He's a motivational speaker now. You can see some of his motivational speeches, but there's no footage of him.
Wow. That's interesting. McGahee, before he got pre-knee, McGahee was stupid. And then I'd have to put, man, there's so many, man.
Frank Gore, pre-knee injuries, freshman year.
Pre-knee Frank Gore.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
You remember, he carried the ball against us 6 times for $150.
Stiff arm Lance.
Stiff arm Lancito. Twice in the same play.
On the same play. Twice. Damn. Number 3, man. Number 3 is tough, man. I mean, there's a lot of 3A, 3B, 3Cs I go. But that's the great – I mean, running back is one of those positions, man. You can look at 10. You can just pick 10 from Pennsylvania and then pick 10. You know what I mean? It's just one of them things where you could argue about that all day.
So what do you think of Saquon Barkley?
I worry that I worry about him ever meeting the expectation that people have for him. Because you got to think, like, I mean, he had 40 yards against Rutgers, 70 yards against Indy. You know what I mean? Like, he didn't have, like, a 300-yard game. He didn't have, like, a 200. Like, he had flash plays. Like, he'd have a play where you're like, wow. Like, Reggie Bush. I put Bush as my third guy because he was just insane. And he did things like he was out there playing high school football with college kids at the college level. And so I compare, like that's who I compare. I was like, well, I look at Reggie Bush and I look at what he did and I look at like what Barkley did and I'm like, I don't think he's Reggie Bush. You know what I mean? Like I don't think he's Reggie Bush. You know what I mean? And he's bigger. Of course, he's a bigger back, but speed-wise, same speed, same kind of game cuts and all that stuff. So I worry about his if he runs for 1,300 yards, somebody's like, damn, that's an off year. You're like, no, that's fucking crazy. That's 1,300 yards in the league. Like, so I worry about that if he ever can reach the potential that people think he's supposed to. They're talking about he's the best running back ever. He never even had a carry in the NFL, which is crazy to me because I mean, even like I say, even college success doesn't say that you're going to be a great run. You know what I mean? Like I look at the dude from Oklahoma.
Actually, the opposite is true. You don't have to have great college success to have NFL success.
For running back, it is. It is. Because I look at Piron from Oklahoma, and I thought he was the most insane running back I've ever seen. He's a little he got a little bit of time in Washington, but he might be out of the league in another. You know what I'm saying? But he was that. But he was that in college, and Saquon really wasn't that. So I wonder will it be the reverse, where he wasn't really. I think he ran for 1,000, and he may be a 2,000-yard guy in the NFL. But I don't know. I go back and forth with that.
Wow. Well, I'd love to get you on the podcast for real in the running back bat cave that you see.
I'll tell you what.
One day.
I'll make it out there this spring or something. I'll try to make it out there this spring. I'm gonna bring you the run picture so you can post the run out.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I need that. I need that up here somewhere.
We'll make room.
The run app. Okay, I got Reggie Bush right here. Reggie Bush, his little circle right here. Do you ever see him play in the pros? Were you ever like
Yeah, we actually, that was one of our practices. Like, we practiced with them for 3 days and just played them in the preseason.
Oh man, what was he like up close?
He's bigger than I thought.
Really?
Yeah, he's bigger than he's legit 6 foot, 210, 215.
Damn.
Yeah. I remember saying the same thing. I was like, that's Bush? That Bush is big, man.
Wow. All right. Well, that concludes our podcast. I'd like to thank you, Quincy Wilson.
Cool, man. Anytime, brother. Appreciate you.
Coming on to the RunningBack Training Camp Podcast. Like I said, we'll get you on in the future at some point. We'll get you in the studio, in the RunningBack Bat Cave.
In the Bat Cave.
I want one of your figures, too, to put up there.
Yeah.
With the shrine.
I got one of them. I got you on that. It's WVU. It's WVU, right. But it's a figure.
I'm gonna get me one of those guys too. I gotta get myself made so I can put myself up there too. But thank you for showing up. Thank you for my guest canceled today, so Quincy Wilson came in and was ready to play.
Stepped in,
as he says. That's it. RunningBack Training Camp Podcast. Signing off.
Appreciate you, my man.
You too, brother.
Hi, baby.
Peace.
Peace, baby.